This is how our day ends. This is how it begins. In the middle of it, I get to see an unusual kind of fox shooting, the kind where you wait for foxes to come to you. Mike Powell, sporting rifle magazine expert, has been shooting foxes since the 1950s and writing considered articles about it for the last 10 years. But he is not your average fox shooter. It is May. He takes me to a valley near his home in Devon, not to shoot, but to watch a family of foxes. And this is what he says.
There's two, no, it's that cubs out there now, Charlie. Up with your vixen. There's a cub and a vixen up there. She's laid down and there was a cub out with her. Brilliant. Cub's just in the hedge there, coming out towards the vixen. They're not doing any harm here. There's no poultry in this particular part. I certainly would deal with them if the vixen's on her way down the field now. Oh, the cubs are out there now, and the other fox are just with the cubs trailing after them. All my life I've trapped, snared, shot foxes. At one time for a living. Then we never used to shoot them at this time of year, unless they were causing major problems, largely because you don't kill the goose that lays the golden egg. It's much better to catch them when you can sell their skins. This applies to then, not now, of course. They were left alone. So there was almost a moratorium on just taking foxes for the sake of taking them. Today, I see no point in just killing foxes for the sake of killing foxes. Different when I was keepering, because there you're killing them for a purpose, to protect the birds. It's fair to say that every fox is quite capable of becoming a nuisance. You could say, well, shoot them to start with, and that gets the job done straight away. I think the older you get, you don't quite see things in the same way. And I know there's a lot of foxes around this area that never really cause any problem. They are capable of it, but they don't actually do it. I mean, I'm out virtually every night of the week, but they're all for specific foxes that are causing problems. I don't go out driving around the fields or walking around the fields looking for any fox to shoot. And there's one very good reason for that. If Farmer Giles down the road is having lambs taken or poultry being taken, then he wants the fox that's doing it. So the place to shoot the fox that's taking the lambs or taking the poultry is where it's killing them. It's an easy option to say, oh, we shoot 10 foxes last night because we've saved a lot of wildlife. Well, yes, probably you have. But whether it's necessary is another matter, really, up to the individual. The majority of foxes that are shot today are shot for no good reason except that people want to go out and shoot foxes, which you could call sporting shooting, which is fine. I haven't got a problem with it. The only thing I do have reservations about is the numbers that are being shot. You hear quite a lot of reports of, you know, a dozen foxes being shot in a night, or coming back and they've shot, there's a great line of foxes laid out. I don't know how sustainable fox populations are. They only have 1 litter a year. I think this one's got 3 in it. It'll be lucky if probably more than 2 survive, one way or another, to adulthood. They're not like rabbits, they don't proliferate in vast numbers. And so I would have thought, well, perhaps a modicum of restraint. That's all, nothing more than that. This year, to date, on 1 farm and 2 small holdings, I've shot, I don't know, approaching 40, I suppose, which were actually taking poultry and being a damn nuisance. So I got no reservations about shooting them. A month ago, I lost a dozen chickens to a badger. Now, legally, there's nothing I can do about it. Ridiculous, that's ridiculous. Pisses me off, that does. Well, it doesn't make sense, Charlie. It doesn't make sense.
If badgers make Mike angry, he is a lot more clinical about fox cubs. As far as he is concerned, they are the collateral damage of fox shooting at this time of year.
Quite clearly, there are vixen cubs rather that are left to starve. Always have been, always will be. You can't find them all. But if you can, it's better. Hang on, Charlie. Fox going up the path here, up the track. She always does the same thing there. She'd go, there she did, dump. What she did then is what foxes will frequently do when they've got a litter. They'll jump into the earth and not leave a track behind. I always say, incredibly boringly, like most old men do, you don't learn anything from a dead fox except its sex and roughly how old it is. That's about it. Now, you asked me about dealing with these. Now, if I was after this vixen, or these foxes, because the owner of the land had been losing stuff and asked me to do it, I now have a complete picture of what's going to happen. I know where they hunt. I know that the dog and the vixen separate. So rather than shoot one and have the other one go and move the cubs off, you can do it in a way that you can deal with the whole family. I know pretty well where the cubs are. I'd soon find the earth up there. And the job's done, neat and tidy. You do learn so much more by just sitting quietly and watching and waiting. Today we live in a world of rushing around and trying getting everything done in no time flat. And a lot of things you do in the countryside just don't lend themselves to that approach.
Mike's style of fox shooting is all about waiting. Our next stop is a farm with ornamental chickens. The farmer here, Fred, gets apoplectic about foxes. Here's Mike's impression of him.
F***ing thing, don't f***ing kill them bastards. That'll be Does Mike kill you good at it? He's brilliant. So you don't want to speak to on camera.
It's a magnet for local foxes. We hide out in a shed. The rabbits provide an early warning. Here's a less welcome animal determined to get in the way.
Now look, you've got to go. Go on, off you go. Go on. Go on. This way. Go on. We're waiting. Just waiting. Because this is an area where foxes cross frequently on their way to the poultry down below. My form of fox shooting doesn't appeal to everybody because it entails a lot of very patient waiting, sometimes for hours, until something comes to you. Any fox that's in this field is within 100 yards of the poultry, so is a suspect. Always keep an eye on the rabbits because they'll tell you in advance. They have a bush telegraph system.
It's worth an occasional squeak, but nothing shows. Occasionally the rabbits look up, which gets Mike moving. There's probably a fox in the bushes somewhere. Mike's thermal imager comes into its own. Here's that horse again. It works on animals moving behind cover, but only where they are directly visible through the cover. This job is not about tech, it's about patience.
Might be tomorrow, might be a fortnight, but I'll get it. I reckon to get, sounds ever so arrogant, but it's not. I just spend a huge amount of time doing it, but I'll get it. I mean, Fred will tell you that.
Daylight turns to evening, turns to darkness. Yet more rabbit activity. Then at 10:30 p.m, 4 hours after we arrive, this happens. It's hard hit, really hard hit. We go at once to look for it. The camera picks up both the ordinary head torch and the infrared lamp on the night vision rifle scope. Weighed down with night vision and thermal images as he is, Mike can't find the fox. The following morning, however, he finds it just yards from the hedge where he shot it. And it's not one of the family of foxes we watched earlier in the day. But if it were, he would have no problem shooting it.